Hello. I'm coming to you from Nancy, Kentucky. This is author Debra Parmley with her elf, Twinkles McShimmy. Twinkles is a Caribbean elf. You notice he has flip-flops. He has a Hawaiian shirt, and he has swim trunks. He even has a little tie for his swim trunks. His little, where's this? His little strings. And he has his elf hat. This is Twinkles McShimmy. And he and I are in my elf party on the Facebook group. This is our 10th year. And this year, for prizes, I decided to make diamond dot elves. So I'm going to show you today how I make one of those. So I need to put Twinkles down. He can sit over here and oversee. All right, now to make diamond dot elves. First, it's kind of like paint by numbers, except it's letters, and those will tell you what color to use. I have removed this little film from the top of the ornament. It's got little curly elf feet. Then there is a little tray that the colors go in for the dots, shiny dots. Okay, and then there's a applicator thing and wax. So let's see, move this where you can see better. Right about here. Okay, set it up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so to make this, I have to get the wax on there, and then you want the shiny side up for the applicator. Now this particular one is the letter K, and the envelopes have the letter on there to tell you which one. So I just find the K on the elf and I put the dot down. There won't be too many of these. I started out with one where there's just a couple. So I can do a couple and show you. Then I'm going to talk to you about the elf party. So here's the shiny little K. Okay, that's all I needed for K. So back into the pouch they go. On to the next color. So the elf party began 10 years ago after I got an idea for a story. And the story was about a shelf elf, which was not a good thing. And I had the story idea, and then I thought, what if I had a party and I, did an elf party? So I started the party, and we went on a cruise. We went on a holiday cruise. Letter J, I gotta keep up with the right. We went on a holiday cruise and to the Caribbean. And I had a bunch of new books that I had stacked up in my office. And I had a bunch of elves to give us prizes in the elf party. I made a mistake. I left my champagne candle. It's a champagne scented candle that I light when I have a new book out to celebrate, because I'm medically prohibited from drinking, so I can't have a glass of champagne, but I can light my champagne candle. Well, those elves, they got into the champagne candle and ran amok while I was gone. I came back and my books were everywhere. But brand new books were all over the place. It was terrible. I'll have pictures I can show you. I'll have to show you some pictures. It was terrible, I tell you, just terrible. Anyway, I had to put things back into order, and as I was unpacking, I found that I had a stowaway. Twinkles McShimmy had stowed away in my luggage because he decided to come home with me. And he wasn't about to be a prize in the party. He has resisted being a prize in the party ever since that first time. So, Twinkles, he has been with me now for 10 years. Now, the thing about these elves, the problem with these elves is that they love sugar. They are addicted to sugar. And they just can't stay out of it. So even if you say no cookie for you, or stay out of the sugar, or you put it in a candy jar and you say it's not time for you to have a candy yet, those elves will still do everything they can to get into that sugar. And what happens after they get into the sugar is that they start to become naughty. And they do all kinds of things, like they'll take toilet paper and they'll toilet paper the doggies. They'll take toilet paper and toilet paper the Christmas trees. They love to play with toilet paper and they like to toilet paper things. So that is one thing that they do. They get into the sugar and they like to pick on the doggies. And the doggies are so patient. I have never seen such patient animals as these doggies when they're being picked on by the elves. They do all kinds of things, but eventually the doggies' patience runs out. And then the doggies start to fight back. Well, by this time, those elves have started to pick on the kitties. The kitties are not nearly as patient as the doggies, as you might imagine. And so the kitties begin to fight back a lot sooner than the doggies do. So next thing you know, you've got elves and doggies fighting, elves and kitties fighting. And it's just like, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Well, a lot of things happen. And the party goes for 12 days. It's every time from the 1st to the 12th of December. So you can mark your calendar for next year. Every time. Now here is the color J that I just put on. See, it's starting to come together. Put that back. So the 1st to the 12th of December, mark your calendars for my elf party. And it'll be in the Facebook group. I'm trying to branch it out to where it can be other places. I'm going to need helpers to do that though, because it's a lot to keep up with. And usually I have a helper, but this year my VA had to take some time away for vacation. And so I've been doing elf party by myself. So I got a little behind on things. This video, for instance, would have been posted on day 1. You should see my written plan. My written plan versus what has actually happened are 2 separate things. They are like apple and orange. Still fruity, still good, but they do not match or go together. So anyway, let me check I need A. Okay, A. All right, that's the next. All right, so back to the party. So the elves and the doggies are fighting, and the elves and the kitties are fighting. And the next thing that happens is someone suggests that, they call the police, because of course there are things happening that the police are going to want to put a stop to. And the elves, they just get in so much sugar, they won't behave, they won't listen. And so the police have to be called. And so the police begin to come around and they start catching elves, usually 1 at a time. Once in a while there'll be 2 at a time, but usually they can only catch 1 at a time. And so they arrest them, and they find more and they arrest them, but they put them in jail. Do you know what kind of jail they put them into? Oh my goodness, have you seen the elf jails? The bars are made of candy canes. Now, I guarantee you, Twinkles McShimmy, if he was in a jail with candy canes, he would not be able to resist eating them, and then he would escape. So next thing you know, we have elves escaping from their candy cane jails. So the police are just at their wits' end. And what can we do? You know, this is out of our control. What can we do? We're arresting them. They're getting back out. You can ask any policeman. This is very frustrating in their job. They arrest people, they get back out, and they do the naughty things again. It's a vicious cycle. What is being solved by this happen? Well, this happening. It's not being solved. This is A. Okay, let me put it back, and I'll keep telling you about the party. So, we've gone from doggies and kitties fighting, police coming to arrest them finally. But the jails don't hold them because the candy cane jail bars are candy, and they just eat the candy, and then they have more sugar in their system, and they're just naughty little elves getting back out and doing things again and picking on things. They do things like try to melt Frosty with a hairdryer. Oh my goodness. One of them tried to melt Frosty in a microwave or a toaster. Was it a toaster oven? One of the two. Anyway, they try to melt Frosty. Oh, they pick on Rudolph. You know, Rudolph is picked on. Poor Rudolph. He got picked on enough when he was little and his nose was red. H is my next letter, so I'm looking for H. He got picked on enough, but now he's full grown and he's helping to lead Santa's sleigh, except that now these elves are picking on Rudolph. Boy, Santa would not be happy about that. Well, Santa would not be happy about any of this. But the police just don't know what to do. So finally, one of the policemen says, that's it. We're going to have to call in the military because this is too many elves have gone naughty and we don't have enough of police officers to catch them all. And when we do catch them, they just get back out again. That's very frustrating. So they think they need more manpower, which they're right. They do need more manpower. So the next thing that happens, they contact the G.I. Joes and Little Green Army men. And they say, okay, we have these elves and they are out of control. And we need help. Will you help? And the G.I. Joes are always happy to step in and help. That's what G.I. Joes and Green Army men do. That's what all our military do. They come and help out. Have you ever noticed how if there's... See, I need more wax on my thing. It stopped sticking. Have you ever noticed how if there's... sometimes military peoples are sent to areas that have had disasters for relief efforts because they need help and there's just not enough people and not enough help, and the military can get there and get there fast, and they're really good at what they do. And so they go and help. Well, so they have to come and help. They decide yes, they will come and help. They say yes. This was H. Whoops, I tipped it. I got to pick them up now. See, it's coming along. So the G.I. Joes and Little Green Army men, they come and they start to help. So they have to start rounding up these elves who are just everywhere. The elves have run amok. They are everywhere, and they are all kinds of naughty and everywhere being naughty. And so there's a big job to round them up. Now, about this time that this is happening, the elves are kind of smart because they love to wear costumes. That's the other thing. They decide they can dress up in some costumes and look like military people, and they will blend in and they will try to escape capture by doing that. That's a pretty smart plan for these little elves to come up with. So somebody had their thinking cap on when they did that. So a few of them, they start to infiltrate the ranks by wearing the uniform and pretending that they are part of the military. Well, this is only going to work for a short period of time because, for instance, the special ops guys, it's pretty hard to pretend to be one of those. You either have the chops to do that or you don't. You either have the receipts from getting there or you don't. There are people out there in the world who pretend like they are a Navy SEAL. Did you know that all you have to do is give that name to a either retired or active duty Navy SEAL, and they can look them up in the database, and within 5 minutes they'll tell you whether that's a real SEAL or not? So vet your people. Authors who are writing military romance like I do, vet your people. I have a wonderful friend and mentor, and his name is Bill. He's a retired SEAL. He's also an author, very good author. And when I need help with my SEAL Team series, I ask him. Get answer right away. Even get some good suggestions about how to make it better, which is awesome. So I was just telling you, it's pretty hard to fake being a special ops guy, because the real ones are going to catch you out at it. So that doesn't last very long. But these elves, they try. They think all they have to do is put on the special uniform and hide in with the others, and that they will be passed over and nobody will know that they're actually naughty little elves that had too much sugar. So they start to be caught because, of course, the special ops guy are going to catch them. And then look out, elves, because you're not going to escape from a special ops guy. That's just not happening. And pretty soon things start to turn around. And then the army guys, they're rounding up more and more of them. And they'll surround them because, of course, there's many more military guys than there are naughty elves. So this starts to turn the tide, and the elves start to be captured. The thing is, what in the world are they going to do with all of these elves once they're captured? Well, that is a good question. And the military would like to know what to do. So they decide that it's time. One of the military commanders talks to the others, and they decide that it's time to call Santa. Because Santa is the boss of the elves. He's the CEO. He's El Presidente. He is the boss of the elves. If Santa says do or don't do something, that is the elves' boss. So that's a person to call. And they call Santa up, and they say, the military guy calls him up, and he says, Santa, we have your elves. Now, Santa knows his elves incredibly well. And he's been hearing reports also about what these elves have been doing. So Santa says, tell me, what have they done? And he starts to get these reports of all of these things that the naughty elves have done. There was the green. That was letter D. One more color to go. And Santa shakes his head. He says, oh, those elves, they've done it again. Because you see, they do this every year. It wasn't a one-time thing with these elves. They managed to do this every year. And you know, I've had this party for 10 years now, and you'd think I would be able to keep Twinkles McShimmy out of the sugar so he would be good. But I have not had good luck with that. I just have not had good luck with that. So Santa shakes his head and he says, oh, these elves. Well, I'm going to have to go down there and restore order. So Santa arrives and talks to the elves, and he says, listen here, you naughty elves. You were not supposed to eat all the people's sugar. You were not supposed to pick on the doggies. You were not supposed to pick on the kitties. You were not supposed to try to melt Frosty. Some of you melted some snowmen. And you certainly were never supposed to pick on Rudolph. You guys are in big trouble. You guys and gals, because girl elves can be naughty too, are in big trouble. And you better shape up right now. Because guess what? You went onto the naughty list. Well, The elves know all about the naughty list because Santa checks it twice. Checks it once, checks it twice. He knows who's been naughty and he knows who's been nice. Now the elves are supposed to be telling Santa about the children and the people in the houses and whether they're being naughty or nice. And these naughty elves that got into the sugar have not been doing their jobs. They have been naughty themselves. And they don't want Santa to come around because they don't want to get caught. Because Santa will say, enough. Santa says, you shape up right now. If you do not shape up right now, you're going to the North Pole. And in the North Pole, I will put you in the elf jail and you will not eat through the candy bars. Because the bars in the elf jail at the North Pole are not made of peppermint sticks. They are not made of candy canes. They are not made of candy of any kind. They are made of rocks. Big long rocks. Big heavy long rocks. The elves can't move the rocks. They can't get out. So they'll be stuck in there. That is the last place an elf wants to be, is in a rock jail at the North Pole. And Santa will say, listen here now. I will give you one more chance. Because Santa is a fair Santa. He's a fair Santa. He's not a mean Santa. He's fair. He gives the elves a chance. He says, if you will shape up, you can stay. But if you cannot shape up, then back with me you go right away. Well, most of them answer right away and say, yes, Santa, we will be good now. We promise we will be good. We will never do it again. We promise we will never do it again. And Santa says, all right, I'm going to give you one more chance. You're on probation at the moment. You cannot have any more sugar, because if you have any more sugar, I'm going to come back and take you to the North Pole and put you into the rock jail. Well, that is the only choice the elves can make. And so they say, yes, yes, sir, we will do what we're supposed to do, and we will. I got one stuck. It rolled off, and see it rolled off and got on the... Anyway, they say, we will do what you have said we are to do. This little thing helps it not be stuck to the part it's not supposed to be on. There we go. Okay. Well, it's good that I messed up, because then you can see what happens when you mess up. You have to move it off of the place it's not supposed to be. All right, this is the last of... And so I have completed this little elf legs and hat. You think there's an elf hiding up under that hat, and that's the elf's legs sticking out. Maybe it's shooped right up in there, and the legs are... I think it might be like that. I'm going to show you the rest of the prizes now. Okay, so you've seen that one. I have two of those. Here is elf legs without a hat. He's just missing the rest of his elf. Then here's one. She's got a dressy shoes under her hat. I bet she has a dress on. She's probably hiding underneath that hat. She probably shoot right up under that hat. This one, he's carrying a present. And this one is carrying a present. And this one is carrying a Christmas tree. This one is carrying a Santa bag. I don't know if he's supposed to have the Santa bag. I don't know if he's actually helping or if he's trying to sneak off with it. That's the other thing the elves like to do, is sneak off with things. And this one's jumped out of a box with reindeer antlers. And those are all the different ones I've made this year. So one of the things about the diamond dots And it's pretty amazing that I've been able to make one while I talk to you, because this is a whole lot of challenging brain activity here. A lot of you know that in 2023 I had a stroke. Well, 2 years ago I made my first diamond dot elf. It took me 2 hours to make one. And it was about the hand-eye coordination. Well, it's always about the hand-eye coordination because that's how you do these. So I'll stow the stuff away for another project next year sometime. I've managed to build up my hand-eye coordination and neuroplasticity in my brain from having neural PT for 18 months, twice a week, so that I can now talk to you at the same time that I make diamond elves. That to me is just amazing. Just amazing. When I took 2 hours to make one 2 years ago and wouldn't have been able to hold a conversation with anyone while I was doing it. Now, I won't say that my speech patterns are the best doing this. There's still a little bit of work to do on my speech, but for the most part, it's pretty good. There's only a few words I mess up once in a while. And so that is the end of the making of the elves. So in my elf party, I'm going to post this. I'll also share it on my YouTube. And I'm going to try to do more videos in the future now that my speech patterns are better. And Twinkles McShimmy. Do you see all these elves that have been made? They are prizes for the people. You are not to steal them. Make sure you don't steal them. The other thing he likes to steal are my books. Now, the thing about this is he tries to carry them off. He's tried to carry off 4. I have 4 hardbacks, that large print hardback. So those are good heavy books, and he's tried to carry them off, and he didn't succeed. He's gotten caught each time. He has carried off a paperback before. And he's tried to carry off my Kindle, but it's heavy too. So he's not so good at stealing ebooks or hardback, but paperbacks, I have to watch him with the paperbacks. Boy, that's problematic. But Twinkles, I have my eye on you. You are not to have the sugar. You're to behave. The party always ends at midnight on December the 11th. I usually have guest authors, and we have games and prizes and lots of silly elf fun. And on the 12th, that day is for announcing the winners and saying thank you and just celebrating the end of the party. It's the end of the party wrap up, kind of like the after party of the party. So I hope you'll join me every year for my 12 Days of Elf, December 1st to the 12th, author Debra Parmley. Just do a search for that online, you'll find it. And it's in my Facebook group this year. And probably will be other places in the future, possibly my Discord, maybe some on YouTube. We'll just see. I'm going to expand it just a little bit. Wishing you a beautiful day and a happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas from Twinkles and me. If you have an elf, be sure to keep it out of the sugar and tell it no. But if they get into the sugar and they cause trouble, call Santa. Let Santa know. Santa does not put up with that at all. All right. I always have fun. This is probably my favorite thing to do for my readers all year long. It's my way of saying thank you. Love you guys. Till next time.